For centuries, art has helped us understand what it means to be human. It's emotion, imagination. Art can be a reflection of the world as we see it, and sometimes as we wish it was. Humans have been compelled towards artistic expression since the dawn of time. But what happens to the art when the artist isn't entirely human? When an algorithm can paint, compose, and manipulate images at the touch of a button, what does that mean for creativity, for originality, even ownership? AI has entered the studio. Digital brushes in theoretical hand. Composition sheets and music scores crafted from ones and zeros, and artists are figuring out what that means. Is it welcome in the gallery? Can it be worked with side by side, or should it be shunned? Answers to these questions affect today's artists in myriad ways, not just regarding their work, but also their identity. I'm Matt Stessner, and you're listening to Now at Ohio State. We talk with researchers, innovators, and bold thinkers who look at our world, see what the real challenges are, and create the solutions that people need now. In this final episode of our AI series, we're exploring how artificial intelligence is reshaping the world of art, from how it's made to how it's valued. Amy Youngs is an associate professor in the Department of Art at The Ohio State University. She creates eco-art, interactive sculptures and digital media works that explore interdependencies between technology, plants, and animals. Here she talks with our Franny Lazarus about what it means to collaborate with AI as both tool and partner, how artists are navigating questions of authorship, ethics, and creativity, and why, despite all the changes and innovations, she still sees art as one of the most deeply human things we can do.
Amy, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Can you tell our audience members who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm Amy Youngs. I'm an associate professor of art, specializing in art and technology in the Department of Art.
What led to your interest in visual arts and technology?
I was studying art in San Francisco in the 1990s. And that's a time and a place where technologies were really starting to boom. Some artists were starting to get access to those technologies at that time. And I was very influenced by that artists were able to make interactive artworks that responded to the world.
Your work focuses on the intelligence of the world around us, which is often referred to as non-human intelligence. What is that? What does that mean?
Yes. I really spent a lot of time noticing the non-human world and the ways that plants and animals and fungi and bacteria and all of these things interacted together in really incredibly intelligent ways over time. And that sort of gave me a way of looking at intelligence differently. And that's non-human intelligence is really what I think about with that, because it's something that we don't normally think about as intelligence.
Right.
And this sort of way of thinking about intelligence might be one that is humbling for us as humans.
Another type of non-human intelligence is artificial intelligence. When you talk about AI, how do you think of it? Is it something to be worked with? Is it a tool that you can use? Is it something to push back on?
It's a tool. I mean, I am in the field of art and technology and have seen many kind of new technologies come. There's always a lot of hype around them when they first arrive. Like many tools, it needs to be carefully thought about in terms of how we use it, when we use it, why we use it, and how honest we are about its use in our work.
Right.
I think about AI as a kind of like a black box. You know, I think a lot of people are talking about it like as if it's this magical thing that we don't really know how it's being made, but it's doing these amazing things for us. We can put in a little question and it spits out a fascinating answer for us or a beautiful picture that we asked it for. So, there is something that seems very intelligent about it, but, it is very much built on the knowledge of humans. It's very much about human-centered knowledge. And one of the things as an artist that I'm really interested in is non-human intelligence and non-human knowledge and being able to learn from that.
Are your students talking to you about AI?
They are mostly, I would say, they're very wary of it.
Really?
Yes. They've heard a lot of the stories about how artists have had their images stolen on the internet. It makes them wary to even put their artistic images on the internet because they're afraid that their style will be stolen. They've heard those stories. They've seen how easy it is to type in a prompt and get an illustration to spit out that is in the style of an artist that they love. And then they feel like that's devaluing art and artists, and it's sort of stealing their ability to make a living. So they're mostly wary, I would say, although some are interested in the capabilities of it and what they might be able to do with it as artists too.
And what are some of them doing with it if they are choosing to utilize it?
Yeah, they're sort of putting it into their workflows in ways like, say, they want to develop a story for an animation. They might use an AI chatbot to kind of go back and forth and to develop a storyline that they could then animate, or perhaps even develop a storyboard using AI image generation technologies, that they would then animate. I encourage them to make it very clear about their use of AI within their systems because, if you're going to be critical about how corporations have built AIs by not crediting all of the artists and makers, I think as a maker, we need to do better. We need to actually credit where we're getting our tools and our data. And I think, as an art and technology artist, we actually want to, in some ways, showcase our technical skills. So, you might say, well, I used Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, and I used AI ChatGPT to generate stories. So there is a way in which it does fit into a workflow.
I was thinking about how, in a way, AI could make art more egalitarian. I can make art just as quickly as you could. But to your point, you have the skill set, the background, the knowledge that I do not have. Is that something that you think about?
I do, yeah. It's funny. I actually think that art making is already really egalitarian because you could make it with dirt and sticks. And, it's really kind of the time that not everybody has. So what makes it unequal is that not everybody has the time to make it, or the space or the educational community to develop an art practice. So, I do think that all of those things are still pressures that exist for everybody. But there is a way in which it's quicker to generate imagery that you're excited about seeing yourself, then that maybe gives you an entry point into then thinking about, well, what are aesthetics? What makes this image better than the 12 others that I generated that aren't so interesting? Like what's making it good? And then you want to talk to other people about that. You want to show that what you've made, you want to kind of be in a community, and that's really basically what artists are doing. So it maybe does bring new people into that conversation.
As someone who enjoys art, purchases art, what are things that I can do, look out for, try to understand so that I can make sure that an artist is getting credit for the thing that I am purchasing or viewing?
I think being able to go to local galleries and museums and meet local artists at openings and have a personal relationship with them, I think is a great way to be able to support artists because not all artists have galleries, but they might be showing in a big group show somewhere, and you might be able to meet them and interact with them that way.
Amy, thank you so much for speaking with me today. This was fascinating.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
AI is my Rembrandt, brushing light across my mind. Colors I could never dream of, blurring edges undefined. Every pixel, every spark fills the void and lights the dark. AI is my Da Vinci sketching futures I can't see. Every line you make feels real. Show me something I can feel. Show me something I can feel.
Art and technology have always evolved together. From cave paintings to printing presses, cameras to computers, every new medium changes how we create and how we view the world. AI is simply the newest brush in that long lineage. True, it raises tough questions about fairness, originality, even ownership. But it also opens new doors for imagination and connection. As Amy reminds us, creativity isn't about the tools. It's about the time, thought, and community that turn ideas into something meaningful, something beautiful. And in the end, maybe that's the point. Is that little tree still happy if it were crafted by AI and not Bob Ross? Does the Mona Lisa's gaze cut as deeply if it were generated rather than painted? AI might generate the image, but only humans can decide what it means.
AI is my Da Vinci sketching futures I can't see. Every line you make feels real. Show me something I can feel.
This closing music, we worked with an AI music creation app to give a nod to what can happen when machines and humans collaborate.
Show me something I can feel.
Now at Ohio State is produced by The Ohio State University. For more information, visit us at go.osu.edu/now. I'm your host, Matt Stessner. Thanks for listening.